Shadowed pasts. Something has this radiant scout unnerved. Hey! Mr. Sapphire. You couldn't have appeared at a better time. You see, when out patrolling the city, I chanced to sight a void scent. I immediately chased it down with the intent of eliminating it, but something about it struck me as odd. For one, it made no move to defend itself, but simply sat there, jiggling. Which is why, against my better judgment, I decided to capture it instead. Having traveled to the void, I dare say you have considerable knowledge of its denizens. If you have a moment, might I trouble you for your opinion on the creature's unusual behavior? I am truly grateful. Now, if you would follow me, the creature is being held in the hall of the Radiant Host. Okay, so I need to actually teleport. Wow, that was a sight. I don't know if anybody else saw that. The bird on my shoulder teleported with me and just like sat mid-air while I teleported. I think it's time. Here it is. Surprisingly docile even when I captured it. There have been no reports of attacks prior to that. Even so, it's the nature of void scent to prey on people for their ether. Perhaps it bides its time waiting to carry out some manner of scheme? You... I remember you. Yes. You're a Troya. Please, you must help me. You were at the castle? Indeed I was, but I have since fled here. I understand the mortal tongue well enough, but I don't have a mouth to produce the sounds. It's been a struggle to convey my thoughts. But not anymore! You can help me, yes you can! You can converse with the void scent? Amazing! Could you ask why you came here? Can I eat that? I would not advise eating it. I wouldn't advise it. When you stormed the castle, I was caught up in the fighting and died. In time, I returned, but I tired of fighting. So I fled, using the gate to your world. Having just been reborn, however, my essence hadn't fully bound together yet. And so, when I emerged from the gate, it was several hundred souls. Rightly confused, I scattered, following the trail led me here, my diminutive side allowing me to remain largely unseen. But by the same token, I can do little more than sneak about. Each of us was weak and powerless. That's why we consumed one another in the first place. Together we are strong. I want you to help me find all of me so I can be whole again. What did you intend to do in this world? Well, live here, of course. I've always wanted to. We still remember the past, you see. Still remember when we were mortals. We long to have that life again, but we need your help. Starting by reuniting us, we won't try to devour anyone, even when we're whole, I swear. You wish to learn more about the Void, yes? There is much we can teach you about those who rule its domains and about their past. Find the others, and they'll tell you all they know. No eating, no tricks. Do you have a bargain? So crossed over to our world to escape conflict, and now searches for the rest of itself? I understand the Void Center are quite reliable when it comes to fulfilling a pact. I dare say having one as an ally would benefit a research into their world. Very well. If you would be so kind as to search for its kin, I will consult my superiors on how best to deal with them. Leave it to me.
Well, then, I'll take it we have a bargain. Good, good. I'll send 4 others close by. You find them, you need only point to them in this direction. Once they sense my presence, I can guide them the rest of the way.
Alrighty then. I didn't think that thing was actually going to be able to speak to us. I wonder how it is speaking to us. Maybe through Dynamis?
What's that? I now see you to search for me. Exchange for knowledge about power of White Sun? I was still waiting to see this and that, but I suppose a deal is a deal. Those men over there. Soldiers, are they not? We used to have soldiers in our world too. There were lots of them during the Contra Memoria.
Back from Weaver's Warning, are you? I hear you fought well against the Void Scent that slipped through. Come now. I merely did my duty. Haven't we all sworn to protect our nation no matter the cost?
Protect our nation. How familiar are those words? Where was it that I heard them? Ah, yes. It was the early days of the Contra Memoria. The enemy had conjured a terrible Eidolon to lay siege to a fortress. The garrison was made up of ordinary soldiers, men and women with no remarkable abilities, but led by their valiant commander, they fought bravely and desperately. They had to last until the Memorate arrived. The commander told them, you needed to hold out no matter the cost. A Memoria did eventually arrive, but not soon enough for the soldiers. Who was the monster and who was the Memoria? Oh my god. Having struck down the Eidolon, the Memoria and his servant searched the castle for survivors. They found only the dead. But just when they had given up all hope, a faint groaning reached their ears. They rushed over to the sound and cleared away debris. To find a lone survivor, the garrison commander. Instead of joy, however, the sight of the men filled them with anger.
Your soldiers are all slaughtered to a man. Yet there's a belly a scratch on you. What's the meaning of this? The Eidolon was savage but mindless. It was a simple thing to hide myself beneath the fallen debris. Hide? As commander, you had your duty to your men. You were supposed to put their lives before your own. Spare me. My duty was to ensure the fortress stood, and it did. Besides, my death would achieve nothing. Honor be damned. No. I'm sworn to protect our nation, and to do that I must live. It isn't my fate to fall here. It isn't your fate, you say? Oh shit! Is he merely unconscious? Come, let us bury the soldiers and the commander with them. Fate shall decide what becomes of him, whether he lives or dies. Very well, my lord. Dude, they're gonna bury him alive? Oh shit, that's dark.
Funeral rites were later held for the fallen, but solemn tears quickly gave way to horrified screams as a body emerged from the earth. The commander. I can't die. I must live, the man said to have declared. The people thought him a demon and disheveled horror, muttering curses as he wandered off to regions unknown. Scarmiglione, they called him.
Oh. Oh. And thus starts his whole thing of him being undead. Oh, that's cool.
Name befitting his newfound grisly visage. A name befitting of a monster.
Is this the MSQ? No, it's like it's lore. It's side lore that you can access after finishing the current MSQ.
We thought we buried him deep, but a mortal's desire to live is not to be underestimated. You're immortal, so I expect you understand that desire. Well, that concludes my tale. I'd best return myself, if you'll excuse me.
Holy crap, dude. Okay, that I wasn't expecting. Alright, I need to get an airship landing. I was like, where's the airship landing? Is it right outside? Yep, there it is. And actually, hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. I almost dropped my controller. Alright, give me 1 second. I'm gonna go get myself some water so that I can actually go ahead and read through the rest of this without problem. Okay, and returned. We good. Alright.
Ah, what a refreshing breeze. To return to the others, they should come here. Would you look at that beautiful boundless sky? Mortals take to the air from here, do they not? Would that I had wings to soar among the clouds myself. But we Voidsons are not wont to roam, you see. The mighties among us carve out domains while the rest of us labor to stay in their good graces. Now, a master of a domain seldom ventures outside, for it is in one's territory that one is strongest. For some, however, such confinement proved trying, and was the case for a certain Voidsent I knew.
Barbaritia? I would assume? Yep.
I speak of the free-spirited terror, Barbaritia. When she first established her domain, she whiled away the days waiting for her minions to bring her prey. The ether amassed from these offerings were devoted to the singular pleasure of caring for her silky flowing locks. But the resources of her domain were not without limits. It was only when none remained to oppose her that she realized she was a prisoner in her own domain, and unless she broke free, she would inevitably wither away alone. Not knowing what to do, she had fallen into the depths of despair when the hand of salvation came to pull her out.
At this rate, my precious hair will frazzle and fray, and I won't need the strength to leave my domain.
If strength is your desire, that is easily granted.
Who are you? So much power surging through me.
And what will you do with it? What is it you desire?
What I desire is... Whoa.
You would move your very domain? Impressive.
I can do such a thing. That I can do such a thing. What have you done to me?
I granted you ether, nothing more. It was your will that made this possible.
My will.
Even so, no matter where you should go, there is naught but darkness. What could your destination possibly be?
Destination? I have no need of such. I wish but to be free like the wind.
In a world that has met its end, rare indeed is the soul who desires freedom so ardently that she could will her very domain to move. Recognizing this quality, the knight would grant her more power and a place of command in his mighty army. A story worthy of a bargain, I trust. I might have had more to tell had I not fallen off her domain. It seems you mortals also have a fondness for flying. I'd certainly like to try riding one of those airships of yours. And perhaps another time. Other selves will be a blubbering mess if I don't hurry and join them.
Interesting. Oh, Zero's over here? I didn't know Zero was over here. The way the sky changes color with the passage of time. It's probably a mundane thing to you, but to me it's a marvel. I dare say I won't soon grow bored in this world. Oh. Can I also have her scythe, please? Please, please, please. It's a beautiful scythe. And you're really beautiful too, Zero. Okay, anyways. Anyway. Alright, where are we going next? I guess to Kama. Bum 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 ba 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 bum 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 bum.
Mother Sleuth grows lonely, you say? My apologies. It was my intent to seek out the others, but I was distracted by the bickering of mortals yonder. My goodness. But there's been some colorful language.
To hells with your father. You should have needed his permission to leave the goddamn house. Please mind your language. What would father say if he were to hear you?
Ugh, it's always father this, father that with you. I am sick of it!
You your own woman now. Bloody act like one for a change. Colorful language, yes? Not from the girl, though. Oh no, she appears to be quite well bred.
Well bred? Oh my god.
I just hope she's happier than a girl I knew long ago.
A girl you knew?
The girl was born into a family of thugs who suddenly found themselves nobility.
What?
Okay. She was raised as a noblewoman and had servants tending to her every need. But in the end, she was merely a beautiful bird kept in a gilded cage. Wanting her to be a proper lady, her parents presided over all aspects of her life and decided everything for her, telling her what to say and do. Chafing from the fetters of her restrictive life, she solicited her handmaiden's aid and stole outside the manor, where she enjoyed a moment of bliss unbeknownst to her parents. Or so she thought. It was not long before her father dragged her back to her room, barring the door and windows, denying her even the simple measure of an afternoon breeze. Even a bird in a cage may chirp freely, but she wasn't even suffered to give voice to her desires.
Damn.
But she wouldn't be deterred. Having once tasted sweet freedom, she yearned for more, and one day, she succeeded in sneaking out of the manor a second time.
You're late. I was beginning to think you wouldn't come.
If you're expecting friends, I'm afraid they're not coming.
Father, how did you... what do you mean they're not coming?
I had known that some miscreants were cavorting in these pods.
Cavorting? Wow. That's a word I haven't heard of.
But to think that they dare try to console my daughter? Well, you needn't worry about them anymore. They're food for the fishes now.
How could you do this, Father? Why must you torment me so?
Know your place, girl. You are a means for our family to gain influence, and I won't have you sullying yourself with riffraff.
What the fuck?
You will not leave your chambers save with my permission, nor will you disobey me again. If you do so, there will be severe consequences. Am I understood? I said, am I understood?
To hell.
What did you say?
I said, go to hell!
God damn, dude.
Talk about bury the hatchet. Holy shit. Oh, to think that it'd be so exhilarating to speak my mind. To do I say, please. No more living in a cage. From this moment on, I am free. Free as the wind. So that's Barbaricia.
The young woman struck out on her own and in her travels discovered her true calling. not in the halls of the lords and ladies, but on the battlefield. She became a force of nature, famed for her striking beauty, which belied a terrible savagery. And with this new life, she also claimed a new name, Barbaricia.
Fuck.
Dude. Indeed, she found her freedom. But did she also find happiness, I wonder? I suppose I'll never know. Nor does it matter. For the world that once was is no more. Oh, but goodness me, I had better rejoin the others.
Holy crap, dude. Okay, so now I need to go to Marine's Main. Wrong way. But yeah, she literally was like, alright, you want to bury the hatchet? Let's bury the hatchet in your fucking skull. I was not expecting, like, I was told that this side quest was definitely a thing that we should do. I didn't realize that it would be this, like, hello backstory, my old friend.
So this is where mortals consume ether. Dreading loneliness more than hunger. How very like me. If you don't mind though, I like to observe the mortals a while longer.
The food here is simply sublime. Why, I feel stronger with every bite, as if the Mirga themselves were granting me their blessing. The food is tasty, that is true, but no food is sublime as to be a substitute for proper training, my friend.
Stronger with every bite, every feed. For my part of the bargain, I will tell you about how we voids and become strong. Simply put, it depends on the quality and quantity of the ether we harbor. When the world was consumed by darkness, the heroes known as Memoriats arose as powerful voidsent. In contrast, the vast majority of mortals, powerless and unremarkable as they were, became ordinary voidsent like me. There were exceptions, of course, but one in particular I'll never forget.
Is this more of Scarmiglione? I think so. Yep.
Scarmiglione. Never had I seen a voidsent so craven. Even when pushed to the brink of starvation, he would prey only on those weaker than himself. He subsisted on scant leavings and lived in constant fear and hunger. In the face of danger, a voidsent stronger than himself fleeing was the only option.
That looks like a death gaze.
But a day came when he found his way barred.
How pitiful.
Such overwhelming ether. Who is this?
You fled instead of facing your foe. Why?
Why? I'm too weak. Why else? I would have been devoured.
So had you enough strength, you would have stood your ground? Very well then.
What's happening? Yes, I feel it. The power swelling within me.
Lo, your foe returns.
What have you done to me?
I granted you but a sliver of ether. 'Twas with the power you already possessed that you defeated your foe.
I possessed such power?
Fear had clouded your eyes, blinded you to the strength you had attained feeding on the weak. If you would free yourself from fear, then join me. You shall have a greater cause to live for and know true power.
Curious how, in a world without death, the fear of it can be the key to the great strength. Did not recognize this. Recognize the voice sense potential, and thus did he take him into his service. Determined as he is to live, it would have surprised me if he were still somewhere out there.
I love the voices, but thank you. I'm trying.
And be even more powerful now, I expect, from all the devouring he would have done since. Unlike your world, eating actually makes you stronger in hours. Well, I must be going now. Others are waiting.
Have you been lurking this entire time, Urson? You said you were at work, right? So I assume you've been just kind of lurking this entire time, yeah? Alright, where am I going? The Hall of the Radiant House. Yep, gotcha. I assume then you were able to just by listening keep up with who was talking or whatnot. I just got home not long ago. Gotcha. Awesome, dude. Welcome home. Yeah, so, alright.
Thank you so much for finding me. I hope the knowledge I had to share was worthy of our agreement.
More than worthy, I'd say. They told me I was trying to go is about a Biricia. Organizing a hopper said new moves, stock ticket, everything and stuff. That's fair. I feel that has bond. I still have to do actually. I need to reorganize my hoppers for all my crafters, dude. I've been doing them one at a time as I've been leveling them.
My other souls lived quite disparate lives, both as mortals and void sent. No, I suppose it is rather for differences that they crossed paths with such powerful void sent.
You're pointing right out to each other? Alright.
But more importantly, what they could offer was worthy of our bargain. For that, I am glad.
I think I'm gonna fucking skull it out and gonna add like 2 new moves. That's
all that remains now is for us to rejoin and become whole again.
You know, you're gonna figure out where I want to put them. I still feel that.
Is this not all of me? There can be no other explanation. There is still more to be lost out there somewhere. I don't sense them. Where could they have gone?
You mean there is more of them wandering about? By the sisters! At the very least, what you say is true, they pose no threat to people. Until the others can be found, we will keep these 5 under our care.
Should I sense the others nearby? I hope we can count on you to find them too.
That was cool! That was beautiful backstory for each of those. Hello?
Will you tell us of your recent adventures when you next return? I promise to make it worth your while.
That was a weird glitch, but okay.